Hey, welcome to another episode of Crazy Stories in Vietnam. Just woke up from my nap. So this happened last week. Let's see, today is Saturday the 26th, something like that. Last week, alright? So this happened last Wednesday. I was on my way home from teaching. So it was my trial week at the Hyatt, and then I was heading back home. So what ended up happening was I was in a car accident. Um, Mostly my fault. So mostly my fault, alright? Mostly my fault. I ended up scratching an automobile, and it was a Chevy SUV. So what ended up happening was I was going in between cars because I'm on a moped. I'm going in, weaving through traffic, going between cars. I make a right turn between two cars, and one car hits me from behind, and then basically hits me from behind, and then I scratch the automobile. So I've been in accidents before, and basically it doesn't give a it doesn't matter who's at fault. You're still gonna make up like bull crap and just yell and yell at each other, this and that. Mostly, whoever's at fault just pays money or whatever. So that's generally how it works. So whenever I got off, I wasn't hurt or anything. I just landed. My bike was on the side, and then the guy on the moped like starts yelling at me. So then like I start yelling at him. I'm like blah, 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 I'm like whatever, blah, blah, like that, just yelling random stuff. As long as you're yelling, you're okay. So the next thing that happens is the guy out of the automobile gets out of his car, and like I don't even notice him because I'm yelling at the other guy on the moped. So then the guy in the automobile like gets out, looks at his car, and like gets pissed. And then like I'm like, okay, that's regular too. So I just like yell at him too, and then like he's all pissy or whatever. So we're all just yelling at each other, blah blah blah. I'm saying, hey, it's that dude's fault. He's saying that's my fault, and then the guy, whatever, he gets really pissed. So I mean, like I'm just yelling at him, he's yelling at me, whatever. So that's usually what happens. Next thing that happens doesn't usually happen. Okay, he walks over to me. I'm still wearing my helmet right here, my bike helmet, and he takes his hand open-handedly. You see this hand? He slaps me across the left side of my face. And I go, what the fuck? What? I'm like standing there, I'm like shocked. Because here's a man, I scratch his car, and he's pissed that he slaps open-handedly, like pops me in my side of my face. And I'm like, what the hell? What am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Because if he punches me, alright, like, okay, in America, we'll just like duke it out or whatever. He just like open-handedly pops me in the side of my face, and I'm like, what the hell? So whenever I'm like shocked in that moment, the other car, like I'm busy with this guy, the automobile guy, the other guy on the bike like drives off, and I'm like, oh, mother effer. So in addition to that, he goes and he grabs my keys and he takes it out so I can't leave. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then like a lot of people are standing around, and like I'm still arguing with him. He's like he's like, let's call the police. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Go call the police. Blah 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 like that. Like I got my reasoning. Like whatever. So what ends up happening was another guy that he didn't see the accident. I mean, it's my fault. Anyone can see it's my fault. But he saw the guy hit me across the face. So he comes over, and then like I'm like, oh, what's going on? I mean, I don't know what's gonna go, what's gonna happen, what's gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what's gonna go down. So what he does is he comes over and he defends me. Well, I'm like, whoa, like he's defending me. He's like, you got no right to hit him like that. I don't care who's at fault, but blah blah like that. And then like he's telling, he's trying to help me out. So what ends up happening is like he's keeping him busy, and then at the same time he's like, hey, take off, like I'm like, I don't have my keys. He's like, just go on the opposite end of the street, side of the street, because we're right in front of like a traffic circle, and it's like traffic jam, so the automobile can't go anywhere. But then whereas with me, he's like, just go, man, just go. And then I'm like, okay, but I don't have my keys. He's like, I'll take care of it for you. So then I go across the other side of the street, so the automobile can't follow me. One thing. And then, you know, he can't follow me on foot because he's gonna leave his car there. So then, like, I go into the alley, and then, like, I ask them, you know, do you know a place that can, like, make spare keys? And they're like, oh no, we can't help you out, blah blah like that. And I'm just like stuck there. So then, literally, like 1 minute follows, and he and another guy like come back, and they're like, hey, you know, like, we you know, like, is everything okay? How's your car? Blah blah like that. And then like he asked them, he's like, hey, can I borrow a screwdriver? And I'm like, okay, what do you need a screwdriver for? He's like, you don't have the key, right? I'll take care of it for you. I'm like, what? Okay. So he takes out the screwdriver, and he like pops open the front of the hood, and like, you know, it's getting dark or whatever, so he needs a little bit of light. So he's like screwing all these things, and then like he pops it open. He pops it open, and then like he rearranges the wire somehow, and then like he's hot wiring my car. I'm like, what the fudge? Okay, this is getting crazy. So he like basically does it where usually you have an ignition, right? An electric ignition that uses the battery. That's one way of igniting the car. The another way is like kick starting it. So then he basically did it so that he rearranged the wires so that you don't even need the key in the ignition, and you can still kickstart it. So I'm like, wow, amazing. Like, you wonder how bikes get stolen in Vietnam? This is how it's done. Literally in front of my face, 5 to 10 minutes. This is in the dark as well. Unscrewing things, rearranging the wires, bam, he's got it. I'm like, wow, wow, this is crazy. So then what ended up happening is, like, for screwing the, helping with the screwdriver, like, we go buy a pack of cigarettes, you know, and then give it to him, you know, just say thank you and this and that. Like, me and him, we drive off, and then, like, I drop him off at his house, and, like, basically that's it. And, you know, on the way there, he's, like, telling me, like, just give me advice for all this stuff. So, one crazy story summary, I get popped in the side of the face for scratching some guy's car. In America, you know, big whoop. You scratch someone's car, you exchange insurance, you know, like, I've been in 10 times, like, worse accidents than that little fender bender or what. It is not even a fender bender, it's a scratch on the side of the car. So what ends up happening is, instead of paying for the damage, I get popped in the side of my face. So, fair exchange. Next thing that happens is he takes my car. I don't have a car to go home, and they end up hot wiring my car in front of my face within 5 to 10 minutes. And I drive the guy home, you know. I say thank you to him, and then, you know, I just leave him, and I just go back to my regular old life. I actually got his phone number, so I'm going to head back later, because I'm in Hue right now. I'm going to head back to Saigon and at least give him thanks, buy him like a pack of cigarettes or whatever, or like a whole carton of cigarettes. But that happened to me last week. Crazy story? Yes, story of my life in Vietnam, especially in Saigon. Story of my life. That's it for now, so I'll tell you if anything else happens.